I'm lucky enough that my job provides free charging via ChargePoint network for my office building. Just a perk of working for my company. And I've been hearing this leak of air or some hissing sound. I'm not sure what that is. Let's see if I can find something here. Marvin, it's my pet snake, Marvin. What are you doing out here? You should have stayed at home in your cage. You don't come with me in the Tesla. Wait, what are you doing? Hey, cut it out. That tickles. Quit it. Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today I've got some good news and some not so good news. Let's start with the not so good news first. My car is actually in the service shop right now, and it's not because it failed in any way mechanically really, it's just making a squeaking sound from the front suspension. I've had this issue once before, a couple years ago, where they had to replace an upper control arm. Looks like that's what they're gonna do again this time. The reason that they replaced the whole control arm is because those bushings for the ball joint are not serviceable. You can't just take them apart and re-grease them up. You actually have to replace the whole thing. So they found that. They also found in the lower compliance link another bushing that was torn. So they're replacing both the upper control arms and the lower compliance links on both sides of the front of the vehicle. It's gonna be pretty expensive, about $700. But my car is out of warranty, by the way. I've got 85,000 miles on it. It's not even 3 years old yet. Yes, I drive a lot. The good news is that they gave me a loaner car, and it is an amazing vehicle. This is our 2018 Model X that we recently bought a couple months ago. We bought it used. Like I said, it's a 2018. It's a 75D, so it's not the longest battery, but you know what? It's been really good. We've already taken it out of state on a road trip. No problems at all. This, however, is the loaner that Tesla gave me. This is a 2017 Model S P100D. That's right, all-wheel drive with Ludicrous Plus mode. So I just wanted to take a moment to talk about something I've recently discovered, which is Tesla used inventory. That's where we bought our Model X. You just go to the Tesla website and then search used inventory, and you can find a used vehicle, hopefully in the price range you can afford. I can't afford a brand new Model X, but a used one that's about 4 years old was doable. Now this is a 2017, it's not for sale. This is a loaner car from the dealership, or not dealership, but service center. And I just wanted to kind of show you the condition that this car is in. It's a 5-year-old car, and just like our Model X, this thing is immaculate. It looks brand new. The door panel looks immaculate. Go ahead and close this. There you go, P100D. This car actually has less miles than my Model 3. This one has about 65,000 miles, where my Model 3 has 85. It's got the older style steering wheel and of course the older style screen. But look at this, like carbon fiber, just like our Model X. This car is awesome. And because it is a 2017, it's not going to have the full glass roof, but what it does have is an actual sunroof that does work. This opens up, you can pop it up to vent, or you can slide it all the way back to have an open air experience in your Model S. You can't get that with a brand new Model S. Screen is flickering because of the refresh rate of my camera. But this is what you would get if you were to order a used car from the Tesla website. This potentially could be something that you would get. black Alcantara headliner. This thing is sweet. I would trade my car in for this one. This is awesome. And of course, this one does have Ludicrous Plus mode. So as many of you know, new car prices are going through the roof. Even cheaper cars like Kias and Hyundais are costing the same as Teslas. It's crazy. But what's even crazier is a lot of used cars are also pricing through the roof as well. It's just because of the demand. If you ordered a brand new Tesla, you'd probably wait several months to a year before you even get it. But when we ordered our Model X, this was at the very end of March, early April, end of March timeframe. We ordered it on on a Tuesday, and we got it like a week later, the next Thursday. So a little over a week to get a used car, and they had to ship it across the state lines and all that. But you know what? It was worth it, because we're enjoying the car now instead of a year from now, and we got it half the price of a brand new one. So before we bought our used Model X, we went on the website for Tesla and configured a brand new one, and we put all the specifications that we wanted on it. Not even the Plaid, just a long range, all-wheel drive Model X, but we wanted white interior, we wanted the 6-seat configuration, we wanted the upsized 22-inch rims. You know, we configured it how we wanted it, and it was $130,000. I can't afford $130,000. I don't even make that much in a year, truth be told. So we went on the used inventory, found the exact car. The only thing that it was lacking, of course, it doesn't have the new screen and the refreshed interior like the brand new ones do. But the only thing that it was really lacking was long range, like a brand new one that has over like 340 miles of range. The one we got was a 75D, so it's got about 230 miles of range, which isn't the best, but you know what? A lot of brand new cars, a lot of Hyundais and Fords and all these new EVs that are out are brand new, giving you only 230 miles of range. The Volkswagens, look for yourself, you'll see. So the 75D, even though it's 4 years old, it's still competitive with brand new cars today. Hopefully I can inspire you to at least give used inventory a look. I don't benefit from you buying it. I'm just trying to tell you my experience, that we had a positive experience. I know that's not going to be the case for everyone, but this car looks really nice. It does have some blemishes in the paint, but you could take it to a detailer after you buy it and get it looking as new as possible. I think used is great if you're looking for one of the top tier Teslas like an S or an X, and it's a little bit out of your budget. Don't be shy about looking at the used inventory. Again, I just can't believe how beautiful this car is. Just the fit and finish, everything about it. It's in better condition than my Model 3, which is 2 years newer than this. All right, so Tesla service just contacted me that my vehicle is ready to be picked up. Everything is scheduled and done over the app on your phone. It's really amazing. You don't even have to go make a payment in person. You just pay it through the app on your phone, and that way you just go pick up your car. If they want to leave it out for you, you can just go pick it up and drop off your loaner. Really easy. So if you're in the market for a new Model S or Model X, but it is priced out of your range, take a look at the used inventory just to see what's out there and how different the pricing is. Now, if you're looking at Model 3 and Model Y, what I've seen is the pricing can be a little weird, because sometimes the used cars are more expensive than a brand new one. The reason of that is supply and demand. If you ordered a new one, yes, it might be cheaper, but you're going to wait a year before you get it. And if you order a used one, you may pay more, but you get it within probably a week. So I wanted to just give you some of my experience of driving the Model S and how it compares to the Model 3 that I own. First of all, this car feels very solid. Like, it feels like a big, heavy vehicle, like a tank. Like, everything is just solidly put together. The doors are heavy. The seats are a little bit more plush. But you do feel that heaviness. And that's probably why these Model S's have such higher horsepower than the Model 3, just because the Model 3 feels very light and nimble, even though it's a heavy car too compared to a regular gas car. It's that battery pack, man. Those things, they need to, that's where the technology needs to really come into play, where they can reduce the weight of the batteries, the size and weight. You'll have a winning combination once you're able to do that. So even though the Model S does feel heavier and bigger overall, it still feels very fast. This one is the P100D. The P stands for performance. Of course, D stands for dual motor, meaning it's an all-wheel drive. So 100 is how many kilowatts are in the battery pack. So it does have a larger battery pack. For instance, my Model X has a 75D. So that just means it's a 75 kilowatt battery pack. D is dual motor. There is no P in front of it because it's not a performance model. But this car is very fast. But if you come from the world of heavy muscle cars, like, you know, Mopars and things like that, you might fit in really well with this, because it's about the length of, you know, a Charger or a Challenger, and it's heavy like that. But it also high horsepower to move that weight, and you really feel it. If I were to ever get a performance Model S, the main mod that I would be saving up for is probably better brakes. Not that these brakes are bad, but if you are the type of person like me that has a little bit of a heavy foot and you like to go really quick around corners and stuff, there's always things that can jump out in front of you, or cars stop fast in front of you and whatnot. It would be a good idea, if you have this much weight and power, that you have some brakes to back it up. So if you're a city dweller and you need a smaller, lighter vehicle to get around town and parallel park on side streets and whatnot, look at the Model 3 and the Model Y. Those two are very comparable with each other and would fit in really well in a city environment. If you are more out in the suburbs where there's plenty of parking and the size of your vehicle doesn't really matter as much, Model S and X are very plush vehicles. They do feel a lot more luxury than my Model 3, for instance. Even though it's similar materials, these aren't real leather seats. These are the vegan leather, which is fake. But they feel super comfortable, super soft, and everything in here is just really well put together. Of course, punching it on the on-ramp is a breeze. This thing just scoots. Now, this car is a loaner, and with a lot of loaners that you get from Tesla, what they'll do sometimes is lock it in chill mode, where you can't really give it as much as it can go, and it's kind of a boring experience, to be honest. This car, luckily, it is not in chill mode. I've got the full power of Ludicrous Plus at the blip of a throttle here. The only thing that is kind of bad, what Tesla service did for, you know, for all their loaner cars, is they put a speed limiter of 85 miles an hour. So I cannot go faster than 85 miles an hour. If I was wanting to pass any of these vehicles, I would floor it, and then it would just stop out, you know, top out at 85. So that's the downside, but that's also kind of keeping their investment protected in a way. You don't want a bunch of people in a borrowed P100D going 140 down the interstate. So I understand why they do it, but it does take away a lot of the fun. All right, so this is what happens when you go up to 85 miles an hour. You'll hear a ding, and then it'll just stop accelerating. So it doesn't go any slower, it just stops at 85 and holds it at 85, but you can't go any faster than that. Which brings me to a point. These are all just settings that you can control on your phone app. That way, if you want to loan your car out to your teenage son or daughter, you can put a speed limiter on there just to keep them from going, breaking the speed limit. You can set that limit to whatever you want. A lot of people do that also for valet mode, so valet can't go ripping through the streets Ferris Bueller style, and that's what the reason it's there for. Another benefit of buying a used Tesla is you can see this one has enhanced autopilot. That was a feature you had to pay extra for when you ordered your car, and this one just comes with it. So I'm in autopilot right now, and it's slowing down with the traffic, and it's lane keeping. If I get out of here, you'll see that this does have navigate on autopilot as a feature. You can definitely get more bang for your buck if you buy used, because sometimes they'll have full self-driving, they'll have enhanced autopilot, they'll have a lot of features that you would have to pay extra for if you were to order it brand new, and it just comes bundled in with the vehicle. So I was talking to my wife the other day about the Model X that she has, and like I said before, it is a pre-refreshed, so it's not going to have the air vents like my Model 3. It's going to have more of a natural style air vent that you can move around with your hands. And she was saying that because she's new to Tesla, this was her first Tesla, she likes this because it's kind of an intermediate step between a ICE vehicle and a EV. It's not as fancy as the newer ones. It's not as technical as the newer ones. It has a lot of the switches and knobs that, like, we still have the levers here, where the new ones don't. Everything is stalkless on the new ones. There is no vent that you can maneuver with your hand on the new ones. She likes this because it is kind of, dipping her toes into the water and kind of getting acclimated to Tesla and EVs. So if you are new to Tesla, if you've never owned an EV or a Tesla and you're thinking about buying one, a used Model S or X may feel more comfortable to you at first. Now, I'm the opposite. I'm all tech. I'm the one that wants all the latest features, the more futuristic features, the crazy air vents, all that stuff I like. But if you are not like that and you want to just kind of ease your way into the Tesla universe, a used Model S or X might be the way to go. And we are back. Home sweet home for this little car. All right, I'm back in the Model 3. Feels good to be back. This car definitely feels lighter, more nimble, quicker in many ways. Even though it's not a faster car than the P100D, that is a ludicrously fast car. It's just, the stop and start of this car is just more nimble in my experience. I do have acceleration boost on this, so this is a very quick car, just not as fast in the long run. If you're going on a drag race, the Model S will absolutely stomp this, but just, from a red light, when the light changes, this car is very quick. However, I do like the fit and feel of the Model S. It is a bigger, heavier car, but I just like the way it feels. It definitely feels more luxury than this one. And I think a lot of it has to do with like the Alcantara headliner and just Alcantara everywhere. The carbon fiber looks phenomenal. This one is just very minimalistic, which is also a good look. It's clean looking and it's timeless. It's really nice. You're not going to go wrong with any Tesla. They are all phenomenal vehicles. I would even consider buying a Model S Plaid at some point, just not brand new. I would probably get a used one, which would be a couple years, probably many years, for them to be available in the used market and for the price to come way down on those. because by then they'll have an even faster car. The Roadster will be out, and that will be the new king of speed for the Tesla lineup. But this was a fun little day trip where, you know, they had my car for a day, I had their car for a day. It was a fun little drive, got to experience another Model S. So if you're ready to kick the can and be independent from gas, EVs are the way to go. And if you're wanting an EV, still the king of the hill is Tesla, in my opinion. And if a new Model S Plaid is like 140 grand, and you can buy a used P100D like in the 70 to 80 grand, that's almost half off. And it's an awesome car. For that price, the value is actually really good. So I know that's still a lot of money for a lot of people, myself included. But if you look at the big, you know, scope of things where a new one is 130, 140, 150,000, buying a used one that's maybe 4 years old for like 80 grand is not that bad a deal, especially if it's in mint condition like the last few that I've been in. I've been really impressed with these older Teslas. With the supply chain being what it is, prices keep fluctuating. So you're just gonna have to keep going to the Tesla website to verify pricing on these. They may go way up, they may go down again. It's hard to say, but keep your eye on that. Definitely don't turn your nose up on used vehicles, because these are awesome cars. And that's all I've got for you today. Hope you have a great one, guys, and I'll see you real soon. I've got a lot more coming, like a lot more coming. So make sure you subscribe if you want to see that. I'll take care.